Talk about behind the scenes. This is both in our industry and the stand-up comedy industry. Later today, Wendy's is bringing by, and we were just told about this late yesterday afternoon, early this morning, that Wendy's would be bringing by their new Thin Mint Frosty, which looks outstanding.
We only heard about it.
You didn't even hear
last
about
week.
It. Oh, you heard about, the Frosty itself?
The invention of the Frosty itself.
Yes, so we were doing a little research. So today, late in this program, a representative of Wendy's will bring by Frosties. We will taste them, give our opinion on them, and talk about the Frosty.
Brutally honest?
Well, I have some notes here on before even tasting the Frosty. The Frosty is available now.
Well, how many pages for one? So we've crammed Girl Scout cookies into a Frosty, and how many pages did they send?
Six pages of Frosty.
Is that enough?
I hope so.
My favorite part, make it sound natural.
Behind the scenes.
Golly gee, I just had a Frosty.
I just tripped over a Frosty here, and I absolutely love it.
There'll be, if there were really like true behind the scenes stuff, there would be the Chris Kelly interacting with the Wendy's personnel.
Yep.
And then your on-air performance.
Absolutely. That, first of all.
That's some of the best acting you'll ever see. Oh, you shouldn't have done it. What are you doing here? What a great idea.
Then they leave, and I say,
get this out of here. Don't they know who I am?
It's been, over a decade now, but we've seen it firsthand. When
the thank yous.
A gentleman came in from a local wing establishment, and you couldn't stop thanking him.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank-a-palooza.
Thank you.
I remember
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is on air.
That's right. That's right. I did that.
We love you.
No. I love you more.
What do we have? Like 10 seconds of it when they were here.
It is awesome that you came in today. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
and
you,
Nita.
guys. Thank you, guys. Absolutely. We appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you guys.
Thank
And I'm a
you.
big fan.
Thank you.
Are you going to eat the wings? No. Get them out of here.
You know what you'd be? You'd be great as like the fifth guy in a government delegate that goes to a different country.
Thank you.
Like you don't do anything. You're just there to thank you. After the meeting, you're there for the photo op and the handshake.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now let's get you with these people. Now you shake his hand.
Thank you.
So today they'll bring in the Frosties. I'll thank them a million times. They'll leave, and I'll say, get
it out of here.
away
BB
from
Shea,
me.
eat this.
I'm not going to eat
And
this.
he will.
And he will, and he'll eat all of them, and
And he'll judge
love
them.
them.
So we did a quick Google search, by
Look
the way,
delicious.
and they look fantastic,
There's a vanilla and a chocolate.
but swirled.
Yes. Now, here's the other, even further behind the scenes now. Biggie says, what are the odds this guy from Wendy's is going to show up? I say 50-50. Biggie says, tap that down a notch.
There could be a poor manager waking up right now hearing this.
Right. What?
I have to what?
I'm doing what? No, the messaging never gets out to the Wendy's people.
I'm willing to bet they're going to be just as surprised as we are.
Of course. You're
You
here
were
for
surprised yesterday. I bet they'll be surprised today.
it. Right.
You got those Frosties ready? The what?
What Frosties? For who? That's right. Many times we're asked to go somewhere, and we'll say, where should we set up? Who are you? Why are you here? This happens all the time.
This is a boot barn.
There's no...
I know I was told to be here.
There's zero communication. So they might not even come in. The possibility, what will happen is we'll leave.
Right.
3 o'clock this afternoon, somebody will show up with some Frosties after the messaging finally gets there.
Without a doubt.
They'll toss them in the freezer overnight.
Exactly. And we'll say to BB Shea, how was the Frosty? Good. Okay, great. Pretend you ate it. Read the thing.
My understanding, by the way, that swirl is a cookie swirl.
I bet they do well with that.
I bet it's going to be really good.
Now, did you see, what did I read today? Oh, Oreo's doing something. They've got, for their birthday, they've got a new double chocolate Oreo cake. There's one that's like a cake. Instead of the cookie outside, it's a cakey outside.
It's a softer outside.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, it's called the Cakester.
That's right. Well, they're doing that, and they have a birthday cake flavor Oreo. This is next month when they celebrate their birthday. I'm not sure how old they are, but that one has birthday cake filling and the golden Oreo on the outside. No chocolate at all. No,
When's Post Malone's already out, right, with his?
Yeah.
They are. And let me tell you, I thought, no one's really going to buy this. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
No, I've seen tons of social media posts and pictures.
Post
Apparently
Malone.
they're flying off the shelf.
Post Malone.
The Postios.
Now, you talk about behind the scenes. It's very interesting. We are right now doing a Two Guys Named Chris Comedy All-Star Tour.
Final weekend approaching.
Final weekend coming up. All we have to do is go out and say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and please welcome Andy Forrester. He's the first comedian. And then we go out again and say, please welcome Zach Johnson. That's all we have to say, And behind the scenes, we will go to them and say, is there anything you want us to say? And some of them will say, yeah, I've been on Comedy Central. I've done this. I've done that.
Or open for this person.
Yes. All very nice guys.
And that's standard protocol.
Standard. Zach Johnson, who's on with us now, I introduced him, and he said, nah, just whatever. I'm from Charlotte. You can say that.
Yeah.
So that's what I said.
He's low maintenance.
That's all he says. Yeah, he said, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's Zach Johnson. That's all there is to it. Well, one of a comedian, actually a former guest on this show, who's now he's become a pretty big star here, Nick Swardson.
Yeah, he's part of the Adam Sandler family.
Okay.
So he'll always be working.
So, yeah, Nick Swardson was on a podcast with Tom Segura, and he was talking about having to introduce comedians before he was well known.
That's actually kind of how the hierarchy works. When you kind of get started getting known, like in your local area, maybe. It's a big deal because you get to work the bigger shows as like the host.
Okay.
So it's kind of like your way to move up. So you're like, oh, okay, now I'm hosting the shows, which means you might get to do also like 5 minutes of your own stuff.
Perfect example. Okay, so Swardson is going to introduce Michael Winslow, who is known for doing sound effects. He was in the Police Academy movies. You may remember him. He could do amazing sound effects. A siren, a whistle. He could say like anything. He could just... I
saw his act back in the early 90s. Fun night.
Very good.
Fun night.
So Swardson is telling the story about the intros that he has done, and apparently he went up to Michael Winslow and did what we always do. Say, hey, man, is there anything you want me to say about you when I introduce you?
I remember I brought up Michael Winslow from Police Academy. He's the guy that does sound effects.
The sounds, yeah.
Yeah. And I went up to him and I'm like, hey, I'm emceeing. What do you want for your intro? And he goes, don't. Talk to me, please. Get it from my manager. And I'm like, okay, but you're right here.
Yeah.
You can just tell me. So I go to his manager. He's like, yeah, don't do that. And I'm like, okay. What the And he goes, swear to God, he goes, write this down. Police Academy 1, Police Academy 2, Police Academy 3, Police Academy 4, Police Academy 5. I was like, can I just say Police Academy?
Yeah. All the police academies?
Yeah, but I have to number them? Out of here.
That's the experience. First you went to Winslow. Don't talk to me.
I'm in the zone.
I mean, that's Michael Winslow. It's not like he's talking to...
No.
It's not Jerry Seinfeld.
Exactly. It's not like he's going to this incredible... It's not
the
Dave
sound effects
Chappelle.
guy.
It's the guy, Michael Winslow.
You interrupted me practicing my police siren.
Don't talk to me. That's it. They were talking about... Biggie said this. They were talking about Bob Saget, and you'd go up to him, who's now died. You go up to him and say, do you want me to say you were on Full House or this? And he'd go like, nah, they know why they're here. Totally different approach.
Yeah.
Just say whatever,
Yeah.
It's like sometimes we have guests that'll have a handler call and say, well, you've got 30 seconds until he'll be on and don't ask him about this. And then sometimes, like Brian Regan and Jim Gaffigan, just call themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me.
Isn't that nice? It's nice to see that.
And the nicest one, by a mile, was Larry the Cable Guy.
Unbelievable.
He called himself. He didn't have an
He called
agent. There was
himself.
no go-between.
That's
He
right.
called. He'd do his bit, crush.
Yep.
Then after we'd get off the air, he'd call back and say, how was that, guys?
Yeah.
Really hope
Wasn't
thanks
it?
for having me on.
Unbelievable.
Floored.
And then he would say, like he talked to me about my son who was so into cars at that time.
Yeah.
And my son had, he played, of course, the
He's
truck.
Mater.
He's Mater
Mater,
from
yeah.
the Cars movie. And it was absolutely fantastic. Speaking of which, Chris Demm was asking me today, and it's funny how this works. We have Nick Swardson comedy on this. Chris Demm was talking to me today about his nephew and my son are about the same age. And Chris Demm says his brother now wants to own a cheetah.
Yeah. Middle brother. He's rather, I don't know if conservative is the right word, but,
Yeah.
he's not very outrageous. He enjoys he enjoys craft beer. He enjoys skiing. He loves being a dad. He's got a great 19-year-old son.
Yes.
But
Yes.
he wants a cheetah.
Literally.
Yes.
He wants a cheetah.
I don't hate this.
How serendipitous is this that I saw comedy today from Nick Swardson about owning
Cheetahs?
a cheetah? I'm going to play this for you. Tell me if this will discourage your brother.
I want to get a pet for my apartment. Like I want to get I got a pet, but I wanted to get an exotic one. Like I always think it's cool when celebrities get like a really crazy animal. Like, you're like, yeah, so-and-so has 27 giraffes. You're like, what? Really? I think that's cool. Like, Michael Jackson had, like, a whole zoo. Like, I want to have zoo animals, but, like, still have, like, a one-bedroom apartment. Just to be weird, you know what I mean? Just have, like, a cheetah. Just walking around my apartment, you know what I mean? Why not? And just have, like, get-togethers, but don't tell anybody that I bought a cheetah. So people walk in like, what's up, dude? Oh, my God! Is that a cheetah? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Just don't touch him. He's like running around my apartment. He's just running around at like 80 miles an hour. Just mauling people. Ow! I'm like, cheetah, sit. Cheetah. Ah! Cheetah, sit. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. Bad cheetah. Yeah, you're a bad cheetah.
That would be so incredible if your brother had something like that.
He's got a little bigger space, a
Yeah.
little more space in an apartment.
Put him in the backyard.
I'm
He's
all
got a
in.
fenced
He's got a fenced
backyard.
backyard.
I'm all in with him on this. I say do it.
That's a pretty fast creature.
And
Yes.
like Nick Swartzen said, don't tell anyone.
Right. But if that cheetah gets out of that fence,
Yeah.
you got trouble. Because
You do have trouble.
You will not catch that cheetah. It's impossible. You cannot catch that
Is that the
cheetah.
fastest animal on the face of the earth?
Yes. A
That-
cheetah is
on land.
Yeah, I think it's the fastest.
Not a bird.
It's the fastest land animal, right? I'm
think it has to
almost
be.
Yeah.
positive of that. Yes, I do believe that. There was a story today about something. Well, you talk about waterworks. I just read about this from San Diego. Kristen would love this because you were a lifeguard at one point.
7 years behind the whistle.
There's a woman who saved a child from drowning in 1961, and they're doing a story on her today because she's met the child for the first time since 1961.
Oh, my gosh.
Back in 1961, this lady was at a birthday party in her neighborhood in San Diego, and the parents of one of the kids said one of the kids was 2, and the parents were like, we've lost him. Our son has gone missing. So they all like fan out and walk across the neighborhood to see where's this kid because he's literally not on the property anymore. Well, 2 houses down, this lady who was in her 30s at the time goes behind the house and there's a pool and the kid was at the bottom of the pool. Oof. And she dives into the pool, picks him up, takes him out of the pool, and does CPR on the side of the pool and saved his life. And they told her if she had been 60 seconds later, the kid would have died. Well, the kid has grown up and lived a perfect life. You know, he's had a couple of kids of his own. Now he's 66 years old now. And the two met each other for the first time all these years. Like, you talk about waterworks. I need to get the woman's name. I don't know that I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I was trying to write it down through my tears, so it might be a little smudged.
Sorry.
I don't know what suits.
I don't know.
Margaret,
Oh, my God. But
you don't have the name.
I don't have the name. I don't have the name. But the kid's name is Ben Coldwell. And they brought him in, and she said, let me get a look at you now here. 64 years later.
Hello, young man.
It's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, been a long time.
Ended up in the pool.
It's a mystery what prompted me to go where I did go. Scary, frightening.
Nobody really knew how long that I had
Been down there. She had me give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and it worked.
When I really think of it, I just think hand of God. He made sure that I made it for some reason.
CPR didn't exist then.
Oh, that's right. Mouth to mouth.
Yeah,
mouth to
that's
mouth.
true. Yeah.
There was no CPR.
not.
She did mouth to mouth in 1961 to this child who was 2 years old. She dragged him out of the pool. She saved his life in San Diego. And she said, I don't know why I walked behind that house because he wasn't at the house where they were. That house didn't have a pool. And the parents lost track of him. It happens. You can lose
This is
track.
probably before they had all the rules about backyard pools and gates and fences.
Yeah.
You know.
Without a
Because
doubt.
now, if you see a house with a pool, they have to have a locking gate.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
point.
a fence that's a
That's
certain height.
right. Otherwise, how would he have gotten in back then? Yeah, I guess he could just wander back there and do it. So she saved him, and he's gone on, of course, to have a couple of kids and grandchildren. And she's still with us at age 94 and looks great, by the
I
way.
wonder why it took so long to reconnect.
I don't know. They were on the front page of the paper. They had the San Diego Union Tribune from 1961, and there was her picture holding him. She still had the article. She showed it. And you talk about welling up. I wish I'd jotted down her name.
Yeah.
But she did.
Hero walks among us.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who it is, but a hero walks among us. This is our hero segment. There is a dentist in Colorado that's being called a hero today because he gave a teeth cleaning to an 83-year-old man. And the 83-year-old guy went into the office of Dr. Taylor Ross about 2 months ago. Yes, 2 months ago for a cleaning. So the dentist, Dr. Ross, did the cleaning and made sure that the man's insurance, Humana, would pay for the teeth cleaning. So they did a regular cleaning. They took pictures of his teeth and said, "You're not flossing properly. Here's why we need to do this extensive of a cleaning, and here's how you need to floss." Now, the guy's 83 years old. So he called the insurance, Humana, and said, "I just want you to know we're doing a bit extra today. We're taking these photographs, and we're doing this cleaning. I'm going to make sure it's covered." They said, "Yes, it's covered." Well, now the guy filed it, and they said, "No, it's not covered." So this guy's on the hook for like a $400 bill.
For the whole thing?
For the whole thing. And so what the dentist has done is taken photographs of his teeth and
the old man's teeth,
and the letter that Humana sent to the man saying it was not covered, and he's put him on a billboard that he owns right beside his office. And you know what they're saying? Good for you for doing that.
Yeah.
So the old man's teeth is on a billboard. Now, one step farther, he also on that billboard, because it's digital, so it rotates. The next thing he put up was the salary of Humana's CEO, Bruce Broussard, who last year made $16.3 million. So there's a picture of the CEO along with his salary, and then the old man's teeth. And they turned this old man
This
down.
gazillionaire won't pay for this old man's teeth cleaning.
That's right. He won't pay $400, even though last year he made $16.3 million. Now, we know that health care has become...
You don't want a Luigi situation.
Well, that's right. That's what we got. And I noticed they're doing, was it on HBO Max the other night? I saw they were promoting a Luigi documentary already.
Already?
Yes, it's out there.
Oh, yeah.
And
is your wife into it?
Yeah, she is going to be into that.
Following the Luigi story?
There's no question about that. You know what she's into right now is this Gabby Petito story. You know Gabby Petito?
I do. Yeah, I mean, that was a giant story. I know there's a new documentary that just dropped.
Killed by the
it.
boyfriend on a cross-country trip?
Yes.
Yes, and then if you recall...
He went back home.
Well, he died in like the Florida Everglades
Killed
trying to hide.
He killed himself.
A lot of times they think he was eaten by alligators.
Well, he left a note saying, "I hope I'm eaten by alligators." Yeah. And he went to his parents' house, and they hid him for like 2 weeks. But here's an interesting question for you. She had written him letters. Gabby Petito had written the boyfriend some letters, and they have used AI to perfectly recreate her voice to read the letters. Now, she never read it out loud.
But they have video of her real voice?
Yes. So they were able, because she was, of course, she was on like TikTok and stuff. So they modeled her voice, and Biggie's doing the no, no, no. A lot of people are outraged by this. No. And it sounds just like her.
That's demon work.
You're thinking it? Yeah.
That's
Now, she wrote the words on paper, but she never read the words, but they've used her to narrate.
We've heard similar stories, right? I can't remember what the other...
Well, that one... This has outraged a lot of people watching the documentary because I mean it's just her reading they put up there like AI voice of Gabby Petito.
No,
but it sounds just like
no. I don't like this. You're going to do something like that to me after I die and make me say wonderful things about you.
Exactly.
Well, we're mapping you right now.
I know.
Everything you said about that Cracker Barrel Uncle Herschel breakfast.
It's gonna be about me.
We'll just flip it and remodel
You'll
it.
Play it at my funeral. I don't want to make this about me, but here's what he thought about me.
I look at Chris Kelly as an uncle.
We were much closer than anyone would ever think. All the times he chastised me were accurate.
I deserved it.
He only wanted the best for me.
I never worked as hard as he wanted me to.
He was my best friend.
I often made comments about my salary. They were untrue. I was paid handsomely by him.
Chris Kelly was underpaid. He did so much for so
How
many.
about a round of applause for Chris Kelly?
Work of the demon.
I like this new technique. This is the way to do it.